I'm dreaming reality with God. Are you? Who am I? My name is Joseph, and today is Friday, June 12th, 2020. It's just after 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time here in California. I'm in the San Joaquin Valley, and this is another live stream of dreaming reality with God and music. So I think that I'm going to begin this stream, this live stream, on the fly. Only some mental notes and some time in front of the camera and microphone. God. What is God? Big question. For some, God doesn't even exist. For others, God exists. What is it that exists? What is this God? We've been looking, on the whole, good majority at some point or another ask the question, wonder the thought, what is God? Is there a God? God is an intelligence. I think one needs to embrace that from the get-go. Intelligence. Just like you, me, and everyone around me, and you. Intelligent. Intelligence. God is intelligence. So you can wrap your head around that. There's no need to proceed any further. No redos. This is live. Intelligence. I'm thinking about it. This intelligence. What does it know? What does it do with what it knows? When I think of this intelligence, I don't think of it in terms of time. It's timeless. Time does not exist for this intelligence. God. It does not exist. On a side note, while I'm thinking about it, because I mentioned this to someone earlier while I was waiting for the mail. I was talking about teleportation, and there's a technology on the horizon that involves using DNA to store data, genetic material to store data. Tremendous amounts of data. It boggles the mind. I was reading, seeing numbers of every atom in the entire universe being able to be stored, its position in three-dimensional space on a hard drive, so to speak, that could sit on your desktop. Teleportation exists. It's already out there. Articles have been published, written, videos trying to explain what's going on. But teleportation exists. They have teleported a particle here in this space to outer space. This single particle, here to there. The big question with teleporting, say, a person or some kind of a living object, the complexity of all the data storage required to store all the information contained within an item. Let's take an apple, just a simple apple. There's millions and millions and millions of atoms, particles make up that apple, and putting them back together with precision. Anyway, these new mediums of storage allow that type of ability to be able to store the position of every atom, everything that makes up you or an apple. Now, with teleportation, that's another issue. I'm not saying that we're going to be doing that tomorrow or anything like that. What I got thinking about, because I've mentioned this from time to time, the whole teleportation thing being on the horizon, is that once you are, say, scanned and you are put into the system, data, you're now data that waits to be reassembled on the other end, so to speak. That's a point, I think, in time where time begins to become almost moot. You're kind of beginning to step into eternity, taking your first steps into eternity, because what's to keep one from, say, being scanned and then choosing to be reconstituted 100 years from now, from that point in time? Just saying. That was just a little tangent there. I like tangents from time to time. Intelligence. God is simply intelligence and needs to be approached as such. if you don't reciprocate with intelligence, what's the point of having interaction? I think this intelligence demands certain qualities, certain choices, self-choices that only you can choose. Free will. I guess I say this because if you want to begin to have a relationship, the intelligence that plays a huge factor in this. I mean, I can stand here and give a history lesson on God, go back into ancient history and proceed forward and onward to where I currently am with my thought. This intelligence, God, is here. It's here right now. It always is here. It never leaves. It has nowhere else to be. This presence, this intelligence is always here. And I refer to it as God. Because it is. In my mind, my little mind, in comparison to this intelligence, this intelligence is always here. And you and I and everyone and everything are connected to it, are a part of it, always. Just as God is always here, has nowhere else to be, the same is true for all of us. Now, some that watch me up here streaming in front of the camera know that I have a relationship with God and music. What do I mean? What I mean is God, this intelligence, almighty, from where I stand, has the ability, you can call it magic, supernatural, you can call it whatever. I see it as an ability, making use of what you have, the resources available. Music is personal. I mean, you turn it on and start listening, and you're hooked. I mean, it's just you and the music, and it's invoking all this emotion, all these memories, all these hopes, all these regrets. so much occurring, and all that's happening is music. Just music. This intelligence, God, is using the music to connect with you. That's what I said. You heard right. This intelligence, this presence, this God, E.T., extraterrestrials, it's all the same. It's all leading us to the same destination. The music and a conversation. And all you have to do is think and embrace, accept, and focus with directed thought, focused thought, that you are having a conversation with this presence, this intelligence, God. You, once doing that, putting your mind in that place, can ask questions, think of scenarios, whatever, however you feel you would talk with God. And then what you do is you have music available, some medium, some form of music that is able to play back randomly. Music. Like a radio station. You have no control over what plays on the radio. For the most part, unless you're calling in a request line. So the radio is an excellent means of obtaining a real-time random response from this intelligence. Pandora, if you have a cell phone, you can put a music app like Pandora. I'm sure there's others out there, other apps that just will let you play random music. So you think your thoughts, you have your moment with this intelligence. Focused thought. No second doubts. That nullifies the whole moment. It can be zero. Has to be zeroed down. You have to be all in or you're all out. But press play, turn on the radio, press to a station that's playing music, and listen. If you come in and it's in the middle of a song, and maybe you're not feeling like you didn't get an answer, keep listening for the next song to begin. The answers are there. This intelligence, this presence, perpetually, that's the word, perpetually reminds me that, for one, it's always here. This presence is always here, and the number one thing at the top of its list, this intelligence, this presence, God, at the top of its list is being able to communicate with you. That's what it's all about. It's not easy. You have to let go of expectations. Yeah, and I could go through the history of God and what we carry with us, this ideal, this vision of God. I don't think that serves any purpose in this day and age. Clearly, the conversation that God would be having with any of us would be updated, revised, which it clearly is. I'm here, and there are others out there, many others. And I imagine many more are waking up, always waking up, that are listening to the music with a keen mind. They have an interest. They have focused thought. And they can hear the answers. They can see the answers. How's everybody doing? I hope well. It's been a couple weeks since I've been put up anything on YouTube. I'm going to get to the world in a moment here. I just haven't talked much about this intelligence, this presence in the music, and my whole channel is Dreaming Reality with God and Music. So I wanted to spend a focused moment kind of going through it again. Sculpting it. Still, it's a work in progress. Searching for that right combination of words that it's like an aha moment. So back to the music and having some kind of an app or the radio. However, just even going through your day, and if you're out and about, although that's something that not many we haven't been doing that as much as we're used to. Other people are playing music, and that music is a part of that conversation, this conversation that I'm up here speaking about, this intelligence, this God that's reaching out to you and I, everyone, everything. All life matters. And I'll be getting to that on the tail end of this stream when I shift gears here. I have this relationship with God and the music, and I have continued to focus on that relationship. I have continued to allow it to flourish, bloom. I haven't turned it off. I haven't turned away. I have continued to reach out with understanding, with a need for understanding, a want for understanding. In all of this, everything that's going on, everything in the world, this moment, I don't use Pandora like I used to. It's evolved, and the only way it's not, I can't describe it. It's something that you experience on your own as you begin to listen, and the relationship begins to grow. The conversation it's beyond the music. It's every now and then, though, I will tune into Pandora, turn it on, and today I did. Earlier today, I believe it was around 3 in the afternoon, because I was thinking, that's when I started to think I want to do a stream, a live stream, just because it's easier, do it all in one take. So, got an itch on my foot. Need some more water. So I turned on Pandora, and just before I started it up, I spent a focused, intended, intentional, directed thought to this intelligence, God. Here I am, and I'm going to press play on Pandora. I'm curious as to what you have to say, Father. I always refer to this intelligence in my mind as Father, God, Father. It's the beginning. And that's what a father is. Any father is a beginning. So as I did this, I gave out my intent, and then as I'm starting it up, which takes a few seconds, I'm cramming all my thoughts, trying to hone them all down into this instant of everything that I feel that's impacting me, that I'm feeling in the moment, especially over the last couple of weeks. The world, which I'm going to be getting to here. And then I pressed play. Or it's starting to play. Pandora's now starting to play. And so I took some snapshots. There's the first track. I usually do them in 3. I'll let 3 play to feel like I get a complete answer. There was the second one, Seattle. The third one, Ring Around the Rosie. This time, though, I didn't let it. I let it play on just to see, and I got the Elder Scrolls V, number 5, Skyrim, which is a game. So that's from the soundtrack. And then I got Concerto for 2 Violins, some Bach. That, to me, clearly was the end of like a transmission, like a stream of data. That was the cutoff. And I know that because I kind of put that in place. I mentally gave that energy from the beginning, that when I would hear something classical play, I told myself that was like the end. And so whatever comes next has no relationship to whatever it was I had been focused on just prior to starting the music up and listening. So 5 V. And so there they are. Now that first one, what was it? Full Tilt was the group, and when I saw that, I thought, wow, that just totally encompasses like the world and the state. And there it is, Full Tilt, Awake. From the album Ethos. And then it goes to Seattle, Public Image Limited, the group. Now Seattle is a hot spot. Here we have Ring Around the Rosie, some Flip Grader, and they have a stack of teacups and saucers. So there's the music that played. This intelligence is here. It's awake. I'm awake. That's why I feel it's so clear. Now Seattle, I had no idea just the extent of what's going on with Seattle. So right after that, after I did the music thing with Pandora, I spent a moment and watched some videos to kind of get my mind current, up to date, what's going on today, and what are people talking about. And let's see, yeah. Here we have the mayor of Seattle. Now, okay, I think it's I'm gonna change gears here. I think it's that time. I may come back, but for the moment I think it's time to change gears, so hang on a sec. Okay, now I can talk about the coronavirus and other things, the state of affairs in the world. So, this mayor has it all under control. Now, just before I watched her, I saw a video of Seattle and downtown, and the police station it's not a police station anymore. It says the People's Station. And I'm like, I don't understand, Mayor. And I don't understand why people are tripping I'm trying to keep this G rated as best I can. It'd be so easy to lift that veil and just go off. But I don't understand how if you can't take control of a situation, because none of this should be happening. None of this. Anywhere. What the hell? That's what you pay the police for. To protect and serve. So they should have been out there stopping this. It's like... I'm trying to keep my thoughts focused. What happened to my... Sure. That's still going, yeah. I probably shouldn't be wearing this mask, and it messes up the sound. And I have a new pop filter on my microphone, so I'm gonna remove this. I was just being funny, and maybe that's bad of me. I don't know. This whole situation right now is crazy. What's happening in the world, and we're far from finished. We're just getting started, I think. And not just the virus, everything, all of this is happening. Defund the police. How is that an intelligent thought that should be promoted? How? No, they need to be educated. Clearly, there's some training issues. There also may be some issues with how one is determined worthy of being an officer. What does one need to qualify to be an officer? I don't know. Clearly there's a problem. I don't want to spend this video, this stream of thought, going over the history of what's led us up to this point in time. I'm aware of it just as you and the majority of the world is aware. But defunding the police, that is the most insane thing I've ever heard. What are you going to do? I mean, that's like saying, that's like giving the criminals a pass, a go card. Because the police can't help you because they've been defunded. So crime, how can crime not go up? Because there ain't gonna be no 911 to call. Yeah, the whole idea that somebody thought that up in their head and had the audacity to put it out there into the public stream of conscious thinking. And people bought it. That's scary. And Black Lives Matter. Oh my. All lives matter. Every time I hear those words being chanted, Black Lives Matter, I'm wishing I had a bullhorn or a microphone hooked up to a nice portable speaker setup, and I could reply back, all lives matter. To me, that's another one of those insane thoughts that somebody in their mind thought that was the answer, thought it in their mind, and they put it out there into the public stream of conscious thinking, and a lot of people bought it. all lives matter. This intelligence, this presence, this God has no color. I've been quiet because I've been blown away. It's like I knew, I could feel it was obviously in my mind. It's just something's going on here, because just prior to my last video that I put up here about my being banned from a store, grocery store, which is a joke. But my thought process was blown away by what I was seeing in people, how people were treating people. I watched, and then ultimately how I was treated with my whole grocery store experience. I don't know if it was that day. I believe it was that same day. I watched a video, and keep this in mind, this is another thing, the censorship on the internet and over the air is just unbelievable what's taking place right now. The news that's being put out there is so slanted, and a lot of what needs to be out there is not being allowed to be out there, which until everything is on the table, there can never be a decision made, because everything has to be on the table. So this whole censorship is a bunch of BS, but there's other ways of getting to what's out there. You just have to take a little extra effort and look for sites that will lead you to ways to watch what's going on without using YouTube for your viewing needs. But I watched a video of a black man. He was in his 30s, early mid 30s, and he's in a nursing home, and he's beating, just pow, 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 on an old white man in his 80s, or I don't know, he was an old guy. Clearly he was in a nursing home for a reason. He couldn't defend himself in any way, and this black individual's just going to town. And then I watch a video of him doing it to an elderly woman, popping her, just pow, pow. And he has his YouTube channel. I don't even want to get into that guy. Just that, watching those videos and seeing how people are to each other, and then having my experience with the grocery store, where the security guy was very angry, and he just exuded wanting a fight. He wanted to agitate, to get you to do something, so he could just go all out on you. And me, I wanted to get out of this place, get distance between this psycho nut. And I was just blown away seeing that, but then watching that video of this nursing home incident where they bring this guy, black individual, in, put him in there, and he had COVID, was what I heard they were saying. And just watching him, he was just letting out whatever was inside of him that needed out. It was unreal. And then to see shortly after that, I see the whole man dying and the sidewalk, the black man. I watched that whole 8 minutes early on. Unreal. And then what's come afterwards? The rioting, the looting, all the protesting. I ain't heard anybody out there shouting truth. All I hear is self ideology of self. Me. It's all about me. F you. Not only F you, it just seems like in this day and age, it's just we'll take you out. We'll remove you. I mean, I'm hearing politicians on the news. I'm seeing them saying these kinds of things, like in relationship to Trump. I'm just like blown away that that's the day and age we live in. For me, I don't care about any of it. I think it's all a joke. I don't think anybody knows. Nobody knows. I'm going to turn this off here. I've had enough of this. I'm going to turn it off. There. That's better. This is just starting. Months ago, when I spent a moment with this presence, this intelligence, and it was when the coronavirus was becoming pretty clear to me what was emerging, and this was back in January, and I spent a moment and focused my thought and pressed play and listened to 3 songs. That's how I like to do it, 3, and I did do 3 that time. And the first song that played, the title of the song was Destiny. You know, because I'm thinking about the coronavirus. What is this? I'm asking this intelligence in my mind. What's the deal with this virus? What's going on? What's happening? And in my mind, I'm thinking of this virus at that point in time as being something that was going to have huge ramifications, such as we are currently experiencing. I wasn't seeing it as detailed as it is currently happening, but my mind was on that level of trying to imagine outward from where I was. Anyway, I'm trying to, I want to get back to God. And that's why I think I said that I don't care about any of this that's going on. Because I don't think that anybody knows what's going on. And I know nobody has the answers, because any answers that are being looked for are based on what was. That yearning, that need, that want to go back to how it was, which doesn't work. We shouldn't be in this situation. Even we are so intelligent and we are so creative that in this day and age, there's no reason for something like a virus to have the effect that it has had. Even if it meant having to shut down, having to have everybody locked down, stay at home, it should not have created the situations that have arisen out of that decision. Money. It's all about the money. I'm going to go back here and make sure I'm still live. Yes, it says I am live. Money. Money, 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 money. I hope most Americans out there got their $1,200 stimulus. Those that were entitled to one. I know there's a lot of people that still haven't. Money. And people want more money. So I'm hearing, that's what I'm seeing. I think the bill that's passed in the House, and now it'll be in the Senate when they get back into working mode. At some point in the near future, we'll vote on a bill that involves some kind of a second round of stimulus. What do you think? Now, I watched a video earlier today from Blind to Billionaire that I feel like they were making sense. That it makes sense that there would probably be another stimulus payment, that it will be passed, and it'll be pretty much the same type of deal as the one that they did pass. It'll just be like round two, with some changes, but for the most part, pretty much the same thing. Another $1,200 one-time payment of cash. And it makes sense that because this is an election year, and in November we will be voting for President of the United States. So in my mind, it makes sense that Trump would be encouraging another stimulus check, because that, in the minds of people, it'll be fresh in their memory, in their minds. Okay. He encouraged another stimulus payment, and part of me thinks that's wishful thinking. I understand that logic, but I don't necessarily think that that's what will happen. That's the choice that will be made because of those reasons. We'll see. Anything can happen. Anything can happen tomorrow, next week. Things are changing so rapidly. It's frustrating. Can be. I think for me, I'm dealing with it pretty good. I've had my moments, but for the most part, I'm dealing with it. I'm coming to terms. My relationship again with this intelligence continues to flourish and grow, and it's very clear to me that it's not going to stop, that it's only going to accelerate. And again, I'm not the only one who's listening to the music and hearing the conversation. We all play a part in this. We're all in this together. All life matters. And I guarantee you, this intelligence, this God, that's the point of view it carries, holds to it implicitly. Black lives matter. I'm not saying black lives don't matter. Clearly they do. But to go around chanting that and then to see what is coming of it. I mean, I'm seeing violence sprouting up, and it's like there's a call being put out there for a civil war. And I don't get it. I don't understand that. I mean, I'm not saying I don't understand a civil war, and I'm not saying I don't think there's not a need for some kind of a civil uprising. But what's confusing me is what's motivating, leading us to. It's not the war that I would be hoping for. Not the way, the direction it's leading. It's like, haven't we learned? Didn't we go through this already? All lives matter. All. Wow, I've been up here an hour. Just about. This virus, I don't know what to think anymore. I hear so much from both sides. I mean, I'm hearing nurses. I watched a video of a nurse, and she's talking about how she's just talking about her interaction with patients that she's had to interact with that are, come in, they're young and they're tested and they don't have the virus. 2 times they're tested, they don't have it, and then all of a sudden they're tested a 3rd time and they have it. And then they put that tube down their throats, put them on the ventilator, and then they die. And then I hear it's all about the money. That people are being marked as dying from this, as that's the cause. It doesn't matter if they got hit by a car or lightning struck them. If they had the virus, that's their cause of death, which is not true. I mean, that's not true, because they may, if they had not had the accident, whatever happened to take their life other than this virus, had they had the virus and been able to live, they might have healed just fine and went on to live a ripe, old, long age. But to mark them as dying from that makes no sense. But it makes sense based on what I'm hearing, and which makes perfect sense, because I thrive on logic. Ooh-wee, I thrive on logic. It makes sense if these hospitals are being paid so many thousands of dollars for patients that have the coronavirus, and then if you put them on ventilators and you get tens of thousands of dollars, if there's an incentive to mark these people as dying of the virus, and all of it's insanity. It's all a clear sign of if this is happening. Clearly, I can't say it's happening. I'm not there. I'm not holding any of this evidence. All I can do is relay what I'm hearing, what I'm seeing, and watching the woman, the nurse, talking about what's been happening in an interview. Is any of it real? That's why, I think of TV and everything out there. It's like none of it's real. That's where I've come to, and at this point in time, I have to put myself in that frame of mind and tell myself none of it's real. Even if it is real, some of it's real, some of it's not, and I don't know, and I don't have the time to try and figure it out. I shouldn't have to spend the time trying to figure out what's real and what's not. We should be intelligent enough. We should be compassionate enough. We should be willing to give enough. Work together as a team without the fear of the need of having to look behind your back. Because that's what we do. We're all doing it. And the moment you step out your front door, there's that eye in the back of your head, that sixth sense about you. And it's wrong. It's wrong. I'm going to come back tomorrow, and I'm going to continue this conversation. I try not to get these too long, because nobody will watch. They go on and on. Unless I'm up here just dazzling you. You just won't see this anywhere else. That, I'm not going to be having mass viewings. I'm debating on whether I want to read a poem from Love Poems from God, which is a collection of poems put together by Daniel Ladinsky. Maybe another time. Yeah, I'll do that another time. So, as I wind this stream down, I hope you will consider listening to the music with a new frame of mind, a new possibility, a new hope, and this God, this intelligence, this presence, the Force. The Force is God. So all you Star Wars geeks and nerds, lovers, E.T., it's all the same thing. This presence, this intelligence is communicating with us. I did purchase Dr. Stephen Greer's latest documentary, Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind, which, I mean, what do you say? You watch this. It's like, what do you say? I mean, clearly we're not alone. And it's just so obvious that this is taking place. And yet, you got what's going on in the world right now. I mean, you've got this little spot in Seattle that's like become its own little nation unto itself. It's anarchy. It's insanity. It's insane. And again, I totally understand why the president is constantly, we're going to be great again soon. I mean, that's what you do if you're the president. You put that message out there because you want to encourage the people. You want to give them hope. So that makes sense, and I understand it. Do I agree with that process? I differ, because I feel like we're at a time in reality, in time, in history, where I think that we are mature enough that we deserve the truth. I think that because we are denied the truth, I think that's what's helping to add to the confusion, the swamp that we're in, stuck, unable to move ahead, get ahead. You need the truth. Everything has to be on the table. You can't pick and choose. You can't. That's not a fair way of presenting any idea. It's called biased. When you exclude the whole. Anyway, again, the conversation will continue. I'm well as can be. I hope you are all as well as can be. I hope you're all getting prepared, doing the best you can. Instead of spending your money and wasting your money, I hope that you're using what little money you have wisely, trying to anyway. Every little bit counts. You know, it helps. It adds up. Like today, these are silver dollars, 1 ounce silver dollars. Pick some of them up. Pick a few up. You'll have them. Because the dollar... the dollar ain't doing so good, people. Banks, the Fed, the system knows it's not doing good. You know, I haven't kept up on the Fed, but the last I heard, the Fed was encouraging another stimulus, another round of money, insisting that there needs to be more, that people need to be spending to get this economy jump-started and going. Because right now, I don't think it's going. No, I don't. And a lot of businesses are never coming back because of what took place. Okay, just remember, listen to the music, begin a conversation. You will be amazed. You really will. I'm always blown away. It's the music that plays for me when I spend focused moments doing this. The answers are always so clear. You don't need to like research and investigate and look for reason. They're just right there on the surface, out in the open. Like with the whole coronavirus earlier on back in January when I asked, and the music played. You know, I got Destiny was the first song, and the next song was It's My Life. And I'm thinking, wow, you know, I'm thinking that was God saying in reference to the life here, it's God's life. Virus, God, it's destiny. And it's so eloquent. I can't remember what the third one. The third one, though, they're always connected like that. They're always connected like that. I don't doubt it. Like I said, I encourage it, and because of that, it only grows and intensifies. So, with that said, be well and smile.